Oh, yeah, we've got something here. Where's it? Do I have a card on this?
I don't think so. But let me, can I explain it to you, what we're going to do?
Yeah, because I've only saw it out in the hall.
I've experimented with it, and I'm going to take its, what's it called? The Aquabile or something? We'll get the name in a minute. But I'm going to drive this automobile over your body.
You know, last night I'd have gone for that.
We did.
Oh, that... I would have
That's
gone
where I got the idea.
You would have told me that last night, I'd say, sure, drive it. Hit me with a car. Roll over my body.
No, this is designed so that it can operate on land, in water, in deep sand. It's got very, very large, billowy kind of tires.
How much does it weigh?
It does not weigh a tremendous... Here it comes now. It is not uncomfortable.
All right.
I get in it, you stretch out here. Well, I want to see it.
What kind of a show is this, anyway? Is this on? There we are. Right here on our stage. Well, come on, let's... Well, what do you mean, stretch out? Does it back up, too? What?
You stretch out with your feet over here.
We had to book this tonight, huh? Why don't... Well, let me test it first, just over the foot. What do you mean, stretch out? This is wrong, isn't it? Well, he weighs 200 pounds himself. Hold it. Well, slow. How far?
Another foot. Now, just stay there. Don't move. Move up a little more. Did you clear the wheel?
Sure. I didn't know he was going to come so fast. What? Oh, no. Doesn't hurt. But you think my wife is going to buy tire tracks on this, you know? I come home, what happened here? All righty. Couldn't resist. All right, Debbie Drake, we ready? You're going to show me how to get us all in shape.
Yeah, I'll help you take your things off if you'll help me.
All righty. What do I do? You want me to...
Unzip it.
Okay.
Johnny, you better take your coat off.
What? All righty.
Take off the coat, my boy.
Okay.
Yipe! Ready?
You have to help me pull my sleeves down.
You are a picture of health, you know it?
Am I? I work at it. Okay, let's sit down. Take your shoes off.
Help her with the sleeve.
Oh, it's hard
What?
to sit down. You didn't help me with my sleeve.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, now you're going to sit where? You're going to sit over here or you're going to sit back
Where? Here?
Okay, well, sit right here, Johnny.
All right.
Okay.
Is that about it?
Yes, this is good. Now, you know the first, this is a regular exercise, sort of dull, like this. Do it. Do it. Sort of dull, right? Everything I do is...
Oh, I'm back. Yes.
It's happening back. Okay, we have a name for it. We turn over, and the first movement's called a tease. Now you lie down like this, and then raise your hips up like this. Up, like this, and then up, and then over. Did we do that? Come on.
Okay.
Okay, up. Put your hips up.
Oh, I can do that.
Okay, now tuck your foot under.
Yeah.
And then over.
Yeah.
No, and then that's it. Okay, now after we do that a few times, then we do the arm circle. Like this with it. We add that. See?
Yeah.
Like this. Can you do it?
Right.
See, like that.
Right. Oh, okay. What time's checkout time? They charge you for an extra day. You stay past 3. All right.
Undulating hips.
The undulating hips.
Okay, you go over and bounce. 1, 2. Like this. Real.
Happens to
Okay,
Betsy.
to that.
Yeah.
Then we're going to add, after you do it, then you will do the bust push like this.
Yeah.
This increases your bust line.
What?
Increases the bust line.
Good.
Okay. All right, now let's do those together. You bounce first. Bounce, 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 bounce. And then push, push. That's it.
Oh.
Okay, now bring your knee up.
What? Bring it.
This is called the killer.
The killer.
And up and stretch.
Yeah.
And then down.
Yeah.
And then bring the other foot up.
Sure.
And stretch.
Yeah.
And down.
And down.
Okay, now here, this is called the seductive shimmy. It's like a sit-up, but you add something to it. Like this. Do it?
Well, I just want to see it again. I'm such a slow learner. I was held back in sand pile. Most people don't know that.
Come on. Let's do it. Now, it's like a shimmy. So you reach with the right arm, then the left.
Oh, yeah.
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 Okay, now we're going to get up. And this is beautifully bold. You reach over like this. You go around. And then raise up. And then down. And over. Like this. Now reach out here first. Get your foot. Wait. Now, that would be good. Okay, now reach over. And over.
Am I in the right position?
Yeah, you're in a good position. Reach out.
Yeah.
And then come around.
Yeah.
And now raise up. Way up. Push your pelvis up. You push the pelvis up forward. That's it.
I think I got it.
Okay.
Righto.
Okay, and now push up.
One more time.
Let's do the tiger.
Let's do the tiger.
The tiger.
The tiger.
This. Now, this is for firming. It's for firming your arms first.
Uh-huh.
And then we work on the thighs. So we just do a pulse like this. Down. And then come up and kick.
What is it? Oh.
You turn over.
Yeah, I'm over.
Over the other way.
Oh, over the other way.
Okay, you slowly bounce down. You bounce down. This is called a toe tiger. It's a toe tiger. And then you bounce, Johnny, and then you kick. Bounce, and then kick. And then, now we're going to do, that's a tame tiger. We're going to do a wild tiger. Now the wild tiger's like this. You go down and kick, and down and kick, down and kick.
Yeah, now, kick.
Yeah, real fast. You want to do it to music? That's really fun.
To music?
Yeah, that's
All right.
Okay, come on down.
We're
Raise your hips up. Let's get ready to go. Pull your tummy in. Tuck your hips under.
all right.
Hands at the side.
Yeah.
Now remember, we do this first, and then we do the arms. And you just follow me.
All righty, I'll
okay?
do the best I can.
Ready? Okay.
Yes.
Let's go.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah, sure.
So give us some music.
Well, Andrew, the people who fixed us up a pretty good set tonight, and I think the audience recognizes some of these people right off.
Johnny, meet James Jury of the Virginian.
How do you do?
Hello, Jim.
Doug McClure.
And Doug McClure, of course.
Chuck Couch.
And Chuck is a professional stunt man tonight. Now, Andrew, why don't you tell us briefly what we're gonna...
All right, Johnny, I'll tell you what...
These guys are all bigger than I am.
I'll tell you what we'll do.
All right.
I want you to come in through the saloon door.
Right.
Come up to the bar. Jim, why don't you be the bartender?
All right, good work.
Ask for a drink, but beat him to the punch and ask for your drink first.
I'll ask him for a drink, but...
Yeah. You ask him for a drink. You ask for the drink first, and Jim, you give him his drink first, and you get mad about it.
What do I do?
Everything will work out, don't worry. Well, as a matter of fact, you look very comfortable there. Why don't you just stay there?
Okay.
You look happy. Are you? All right.
Like that's it. You're used to that pose, too.
Now, I'll tell you what, Johnny. If you will come in and do just as I've told you, everything else will take care of itself. These gentlemen will.
Oh, yeah?
So everything should work very nicely, and I'll go off
Is there
here.
going to be hitting and things like that?
Yes, there might be. There's a slight chance, yes.
How long have you been doing this, Chuck?
This is my first job.
Okay.
All right,
I'll come
you
in the
go
door
on
with
off
a drink
and I'll
and so
watch you.
forth. Okay. You all set then? Yeah, James?
Yes,
Chuck?
sir.
All right, I'll come in the door, come up and ask for the drink and you
I'll go on you. I'll say action, and you come through the door.
All righty.
Action!
Give me a whiskey.
Whiskey. That happens to be my drink.
Give me a whiskey.
Give me a whiskey. That's my whiskey. Andrew, I think we ought to tell them, if they didn't know, there's a gentleman who was standing in for me. How many of you knew that we made a switch? The other gentleman went, Hal Needham. Hal, would you come on in? Oh, what happened?
It's ketchup.
What happened? Did you crack a thing?
On the table.
This is Hal Needham, who's a professional stuntman, who came out from behind the bar, did through the window, and he got a little piece of
Nothing.
Thing on the eye?
He's been there before.
Hal, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Just what a kick. Andrew, thank you for being with us tonight. We'll be back in just a moment. Chuck?
Good morning, Mr. Phipps. This is Sergio Gilton, formerly the butler at the Royal Palace in Haltenstein. After 20 years of faithful service, he's disappeared, taking with him the Crown Prince. Without the prince in residence, the economy of the country is faltering and is ripe for overthrow. Your mission, Jim, should you decide to accept it, is to find the Crown Prince and return him to the throne. As always, if you or any member of your MI force is captured or killed, the Secretary will disavow any knowledge of your actions. Good luck, Jim. This recording will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
As a regular feature on The Tonight Show, we like to recap some of the highlights of the past week around the country and around the world. So, from the 4 corners of the earth, here are the news and happenings of people and places as we catch up with the news. New York City. Local gangsters have been infiltrating supermarkets in an attempt to coerce the public into using a brand of detergent manufactured and distributed by the syndicate. In fact, rumor has it that the mafia has eliminated the middleman and has gone directly into the homes. Let's look at it and see how this situation has affected a typical soap commercial.
Hi, viewers. Waldo Turn here with just a few words about a wonderful new product, Hit. That's right, Hit. The detergent discovery that rubs out dirt. And it's being discovered all over the country by housewives, just like yourselves, and like Mrs. Emma Lindquist here from Copac, New York. How are you today, Mrs. Lindquist?
Oh, better, thanks. The feeling's coming back to my fingers.
Wonderful. How long have you been using Hit?
Well, ever since this nice gentleman came to my house yesterday with a free sample.
You bet, Mrs. Lindquist of Copac, New York, because you know what the makers of Hit say.
We use Hit in our family. And you're going to use it in your family, or our family is going to step all over your family.
That's right, Fingers. And what's Hit good for, Mrs. Lindquist of Copac, New York?
Well, it removes blood stains, beef and human. And, let's see, rubber hose marks, acid, and that ever-present problem stain. Sorry about that. Cement.
Tell him about your husband's shirts, huh? Hit machine wash the husband's shirts. Whiter than white, isn't that right, lady?
Yes. But don't you think we should have taken Harry out of the shirt before we washed it?
Yes, that's just another reason why you should try Hit, the product that gives the kiss of death to grind. What finally convinced you to switch to Hit, Mrs. Lindquist?
Well, nobody ever explained to me how it worked
I
before.
didn't think so. Yes, sir, you bet. Right on.
The pure food the Pure Food and Drug Administration has been investigating various diners and short-order restaurants, and it discovered that in some instances, what is advertised as beef is in fact not 100% beef. In several tests, horse meat was found to be an ingredient of chopped steak. Let's catch up with the news and go to our roving reporter, Gabe Carson, who is actually on the scene of a local beanery. Come in, Gabe.
Gabe Carsman here. I'm speaking with Gonzales McTavish, owner and operator of the Taco Shillelagh Hamburger Joint on 9th Avenue, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. McTavish, is there any truth to the rumor that some hamburgers contain horse meat?
Well, I don't know about the other places, but I can vouch for my product. Finest sirloin money can buy. I just made this. You want to try it?
Just from the kitchen, huh?
Yeah.
Sure it's all right, huh?
It's all right. Go ahead.
All right, I'll give it a try. Well, you know, that's really not too bad. I guess I could take some back to the office. You want to give me 2 cheeseburgers and a plain burger?
Right, you got it.
2 cheeseburgers, 2, and a plane, and the cook is at the grill, and the buns are in position. Which means it's toast time. And they're off.
All right.
Unrest on our nation's campuses is a very serious issue all year long, but never is it dramatized more effectively than during the traditional commencement exercises that take place in June. Now here, amid the pomp and circumstance of the traditional graduation ceremony, many members of the academic community express their dissatisfaction with the establishment. So let's go now to the campus of famous Huxley College on the banks of Huxley River in Huxley, Ohio, where graduation is taking place.
And so I say to the pigs and the lousy fuzz and all the low-down rotten creeps that have exploited the land and the people, your time is coming. We're gonna mess up this country like you've never seen it. We're gonna tear it apart. The new day's coming. Burn, baby, burn.
Thank you, Dean Ludlow.
It really is a great honor to present my our first guest tonight. I suppose the word hero sounds corny at times, but I don't think you have heroes anymore. And maybe some of the youngsters need heroes nowadays, and they probably get tired of that word. They would consider themselves, I suppose, professional test pilots, in which they are at a tremendous skill. But it's just been over a month since their great courage and skill under tremendously adverse conditions made them heroes to the entire world. Would you please welcome the Apollo 13 team, James Lovell, Fred Hayes, and Jack Swigert. Gentlemen. If you fellas would, that is the first time since I've been doing this show in 7.5 years that I've seen an entire studio audience get to their feet and applaud. And you've received a lot of that since you've come back. It must be an emotional type of thing. I mentioned you fellas, I used the word heroes, which I said, I know you've said it before in interviews that you don't consider yourself at all, Captain, right?
Well, as a matter of fact, we didn't know just how the world was taking it until we actually got back on the ground.
That's right. You were really the last. You're always the
We're
last to know,
people
right?
to find out about it.
You know, I never thought of it that way.
It was after meeting all the people and appreciating the feeling and emotion that they had, I sort of feel like maybe I missed something being up there.
We missed all the excitement, you know.
Yeah, I missed all the excitement. Were you kind of amazed at the outpouring of emotion from countries all over the world, not just the United States, but I can't remember a time when there's been a circumstance where somebody has been in that kind of a situation where the entire world and foreign countries and even the communist bloc and all of the countries of the world seemed to join together for a moment. Were you a little amazed at that reaction when you got back?
Yes, I think this is what really struck us, that for perhaps just an instant, maybe the whole world was together.
It's funny, they seem to get together on things like science, don't they? They were in a common...
In a common crisis, we all seem to join hands.
We sure do.
It's just like one human being helping another.
You're captain right now, Jim?
Yes, Johnny.
And Fred, you're...
I'm a civilian.
You're civilian, and Jack?
Civilian also.
Civilian.
I was sort of outnumbered being in the military.
Yes. Captain in the Navy, right? I was an ensign in the Navy. You know what being an ensign in the Navy is like being a hood ornament on an Edsel. There's not much call for that. You've had a busy day today, haven't you? What's been happening since you've been in New York?
Well, we had lunch with Mayor Lindsay today. It was very nice.
And
we had a press conference, after that.
And your show tonight, followed by a play.
You're going to see a play, and then there's another, I think, reception later on tonight with the mayor also, is there not?
And he told me that your car was double parked down below and the police towed it away.
Our mayor would tow away your capsule if it landed in New York. And it cost you $50. Don't fool with Lindsay. He's murdered. You've probably been asked every question in the book on what they call a debriefing. And David Brinkley once said on television, he never understood the term debriefing. He says, why not a briefing when you got back? What's the difference between a briefing and a debriefing? Anybody? Any fellas?
You would ask us those technical questions.
Yeah, Fred's is the English major?
Well,
why a debriefing?
I think a briefing would constitute the preparation and the training we go through getting ready to fly the flight. And a debriefing is where we give our comments on how each phase worked and how we felt maybe our training was deficient and what we should do better the next time.
What was the greatest thrill when you got back outside, I suppose, talking to your wives? Jack is a bachelor, and talking to the president?
Well, on board the ship, they had a little communications link up with us. We had 3 phones, and it was sort of a one-sided conversation. All 3 of us were talking at one time, and Fred and I were talking to our wives, and Jack was talking to the entire Continental Airlines Stewardess Corps.
Jack has flown before, hasn't he?
You know, I thought I was going to get by without Jim making some comment about that, but he didn't. Last time we were
He set it up for me.
in Chicago, he said that a bachelor is like a new detergent. That's one that works fast and leaves no rings.
What are you doing about 11:30 every night? We have an opening on the staff, Jim, if you can come up with this stuff. You can come up with this stuff every night. You probably get tired of that, don't you, Jack? Because you're one of the few bachelors in the whole program, I guess, of NASA, right?
Yes.
And that they always have to have something to say. Now,